Would you please state your name and your business?
Larry Finkelberg, Amerihome Lending. We are residential mortgage planners.
Excellent. How long have you been in business, Larry?
11 years, opened the company that I'm currently at with a partner 4.5 years ago now.
Okay. What got you into the mortgage business?
I kind of lucked into it. Had a family friend that owned a company and was looking for something different, was actually in the hospitality industry, and transitioned over and just fell in love with the entrepreneurship of it, the financial piece, and haven't looked back since.
Okay. Now, what makes your mortgage business different than other mortgage businesses out there?
We're relationship based. We don't look at the mortgage as a transaction. We look at it as part of an overall financial picture. So when clients come to us, we're working with the other members of their team, their financial advisors, their CPAs, their realtors, their investment advisors, to craft a mortgage that fits into the context of a broader financial plan. And then after the transaction, we continue to manage that mortgage on an ongoing basis.
Okay. Now, what would you say to clients who may be reluctant to work with mortgage brokers after this whole scandal that we've gone through in the housing industry the last 3 or 4 years?
Well, you know, people have their experiences, and what I think that most people worry about with the mortgage broker is, I guess, a question of ethics, or they don't have the control that working directly with a lender is. And the reality is, you know, ethics are on an individual basis. So it's, you know, you've got to work with somebody you're comfortable with. That goes without saying. But we actually have flexibility as a broker. We can work with so many different banks, and some banks can do loans that others can't. And it gives us the flexibility. And then from an interest rate standpoint, we're just more competitive with rates, with costs, than you would go into a retail bank. So even though it's somewhat counterintuitive, we have a lot more flexibility. We have better pricing, better interest rates, and just more options for our clients.
Okay. Now, how are you faring in this economy now?
Great. I will say that it's largely a refinance market right now. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Purchase market's still a little bit soft, but we're having a banner year. We've got a ton of clients that are taking advantage of these interest rates, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of it slowing down. So it's been a great year, and you know, just the network of strategic partners that I have, and you know, the growth of my clients' financials is just been a really rewarding thing to see.
Okay. Now, I understand you're very pro-education.
Absolutely.
So, how many of your clients come to you prepared to do business with a mortgage broker, or do you work with them to get them prepared to qualify for a mortgage?
You know, a lot of them do come somewhat prepared because they come from a strategic partner of mine, a realtor that I have a relationship with, a CPA, a financial planner. So they come with certain expectations about looking at the broader picture. But clients that I get that are referred from past clients, for example, that maybe don't even understand what the mortgage planning concept is about, find tremendous value in that, because people tend to compartmentalize their mortgage. They look at that over here, and then over here is the rest of the financial picture, and it just doesn't make sense to do it that way. So a lot of the conversation we're having isn't about debt-to-income ratios and qualifying for a loan. It's how do we make this mortgage work to help you grow wealth over time?
Wow. You're right. That's something that most mortgage brokers, actually, I've never heard of a mortgage broker put it in that kind of context. Now, with that being said, are you an investor as well? Talk about wealth and...
Sure. I am a real estate investor, and obviously I also invest in the stock and bond markets as well. But I have 3 investment properties, plus obviously my primary residence. I've had them long term and plan to do so. Not that there's, you know, obviously anything wrong at all, and there's great opportunities with rehabbing and reselling properties. It's just based on what I'm trying to accomplish, my financial plans and goals. We've had, you know, properties 8 years, 6 years, and I think 3 years, and the intention is to hold them long term. But I love it. I mean, my hope is to get enough passive income through those properties to, you know, hit financial independence at a pretty young age.
Now, you mentioned strategic partners.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about getting your strategic partners?
A lot of times it's from clients that I have. One of the things that I do when a new client comes to me is we go through what I call my client profile form, and they indicate what strategic partners they have and how they feel about them. And if they, for example, have a CPA that they rank a 10, I have a conversation with them about that and ask them why they feel that that way, and then I ask for an introduction, and I'll call them, and a lot of times we just sit down. I try to understand their business model, they try to understand mine, and I try to keep it very direct and make sure that, hey, if we can work together and there's an opportunity, let's talk about what that looks like, and if not, that's okay too. But usually there's a pretty good conversation there, and it's just a determination after a meeting or two whether we want to really focus on trying to, create a strategic relationship. So it's overwhelmingly strategic partners of my clients that become my strategic partners.
Interesting. Now, on the lines of strategic partners, you also are the founder of a real estate investment.
That's correct.
Can you talk a little about that?
Sure. It's REIS, Real Estate Investor Society, and it's a pretty complex organization, something I'm very proud of, but just to kind of give an overview is there's two components to it. There's business professionals that serve in real estate related industries, lender, property manager, title attorney, architect, the list goes on and on. Anybody that would serve a real estate related industry or an investor. We meet on a pretty consistent basis, and we kind of function as one another's board of directors. We give business best practices, we share strategic partners, we share business referrals when possible. But beyond that, we've also got the investor member component, and these are people that are active or aspiring investors. And we've kind of got a social mission on that side. I mean, we really, we want people to make money. That's why they get involved in investing. But at the same time, we're really trying to better the community, kind of pull us out of this housing slump that we're in. So those two groups work very well with one another. Obviously, the investors need the service providers, and the service providers need the investors. So it's been a great ride, but we've got a lot of exciting things planned in the future too for REIS.
Excellent. Now, what kind of strategic partners would you say you're looking for?
My best strategic partners have always been ones that I've touched on a couple of times. Financial planners, unquestionably, but specifically financial planners that understand the mortgage is more than just a necessary evil, a debt that you have to have, but it can be managed properly. Tax professionals, CPAs are huge, and then obviously realtors. Those are my big three. I also have a couple of good working relationships with both divorce and estate planning attorneys too.
Okay. Now, what advice would you want to give investors who are interested in joining REIS or getting more information about REIS?
I encourage you to come to a meeting first and foremost, but our concept with REIS is build your team. Get your advisors in place so you can do things the ethical way, the profitable way, and you don't have to pay into this one-size-fits-all coaching program. I mean, everybody's got a different risk tolerance and resources, and that's what REIS is about. We want to be the forum for you to invest the way that works for you. So my advice would be get involved. Come to meetings, meet your strategic partners, meet the other investors, and from there, really, the opportunities are limitless.
Now, do you yourself have any kind of business coach or financial advisors to help you with your manage your funds, things?
All of the above. I've got a financial advisor. I've got a CPA. I've got a business coach. I've had several throughout the years. I still participate in a business and sales development coaching program, Sandler Sales. So I've always been a big believer in that, and frankly, everybody that I know that's achieved any element of success in life has coaches in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aspects of their life, so critical in success.
Okay. One last question.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give home buyers or even homeowners who are interested in either refinancing or buying a home in this particular market right now?
Look into it. I know that kind of sounds obvious, but I think a lot of people just assume, well, I can't do it. And there's a lot of programs out there that may make you eligible when you think or otherwise would not have been. So the opportunities, interest rates are absolutely at record all-time lows right now. And I've got clients that save $300, $400, $500 a month through refinance. And if you allocate that money properly, you can really grow wealth. And my advice would be, don't just assume it's not going to work for you. Look into it. Make sure you're talking with a professional and see what options are available to you. The worst thing that's going to happen is, maybe you're out $350 for an appraisal because things didn't work out, but that's a small price to pay for a potential savings of $500 a month.
Excellent. Now, how about providing your contact information?
Sure. Again, it's Amerihome Lending. We're located in Rockville. My direct line is 240-207-2810, and my email is larry@amerihomelending.com, and the website is amerihomelending.com.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you much.